Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. I'm going to try something a little bit different today. I do some 3D printing from time to time, and I own a very small format printer, and it works great, but anytime you want to print anything of any size, you can't do it because it will only do 120 millimeters cubed basically. So I went online, and on Facebook there was an ad that came up. You got to be careful with Facebook. There was an artillery branded computer, or a branded 3D printer on there that was on a sale for, it's a remanufactured, or whatever you want to call it, reboxed printer, and it was only $60 shipped. So free shipping and a $60 printer. So let's take a look and see what it looks like, and see if I've wasted $60 or if I maybe will have something worthwhile. So I had seen comments from different people that the printer of the box was basically opened and it looked like it had never been taken out of the box, and this is looking suspiciously to me like it's not been out of the box. So we will see though. It is supposed to be a complete printer. It's not guaranteed to work, but it is supposed to be a complete printer. So let's see what we got. There are some fingerprints in here, so maybe someone did actually have it open. Oh, and there's actually some marks on here where from somebody printing something. So the bed does look very good, but it's obvious that somebody has used this before. Oh, by the way, in case I didn't mention it, there's no returns on these. So I am, like I said, if I spent $60 and it doesn't work, then I threw $60 away. And then you could argue that if I may have spent $60 on it, and if I spend a whole bunch of time trying to get it to work and I can't get it to work, then not only have I wasted $60, but I've wasted all my time as well. Alright, so there's what it looks like. The display screen, the build plate, so I'm going to look at and see what's in this little bag. Alright, I'm going to keep working on this artillery X2 printer that I picked up for 60 bucks, and gonna get it set up and start a print on it. I got one thing I want to print that's kind of big. I've got older printers, but they don't print anything very large. And before you go crazy, I'm not going to turn this into a 3D printer video or 3D printer channel. I just thought you guys might be interested in this and see if anybody else is as well. So this is a X2 printer that I picked up directly from the Artillery website. They have printers on there. I think they had 2 or 3 models that are older models that they're trying to clear out. And these are returns, and there's no warranty on them. The shipping was included, so I think they're probably taking a loss shipping these things out. So it was $60 including shipping to get it to my house. Alright, so I got this plugged in. Let's hit the power switch, which is on the back. Alright, so I know one thing we have to do is a setup. There it is. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and work on the leveling. So what I want to do, I'll click on level, and I'll click on first. Alright, so the printer went to the first position. So now what I want to do is, underneath the print head, I want to put this piece of paper. And it won't even fit under there right now. You can see it's so tight. But I want this piece of paper to go under there, so I need to loosen this thumb screw a little bit until my piece of paper fits under there. Or tighten it, maybe. Alright, one thing I forgot to do is to heat the bed, because that's going to make a difference on the positioning. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that on. We'll just go to 20 for now. And for the extruder, oh, that was the extruder. So for the bed, we'll go up to 20. That should be good. Alright, so this should be starting to get hot, get warm. Alright, so on this printer I did some diagnosis, and I noticed that the hot end doesn't work and the extruder doesn't work. You can't control what the extruder does. You can't remove or insert filament. It doesn't run. And the heating bed, and like I said, the extruder doesn't heat up, and the heated bed doesn't heat up either. So all of those things together are not a common problem. So if you have one sensor that doesn't work on one of them, it doesn't cause the rest of them not to function. So to me, this reeks of the circuit board being bad. So I purchased a new circuit board for it. I will check voltages before I put the circuit board in, but I have a feeling that the circuit board went bad. These are known for having the circuit boards fail on them. So I'm going to change this out and see if it corrects the problem. Alright, so there's the motherboard, and like I said, I'll try to read some voltages, and then before I replace the motherboard, I want to make sure the voltages are right. So this is the power supply that operates it. Alright, so I got the power on and I got the power supply disconnected from the circuit card. So I'm going to see what kind of voltages I get on this power supply. Okay, so this is showing 24 volts. I'll have to look and see if I can see on the side what outputs. Okay, it does say 24 volts on the side here, 24 volts, 8.5 amps, so there's 24 volts there. There is let's see, that might be AC, so let's change this to AC. So actually that's line voltage coming in. I can see because it's coming in from the power cord, and that goes out to the heater. I don't know if I guess you can see where I'm pointing here. Alright. So this yellow wire here is your AC for the heater, and this blue wire must be I think that is if you're using 220, it runs 220 to here, and then you power your power supply from that. So we're not using 220 obviously, so we don't need that.
and then the brown here goes up here. So this is your this switch right here is your AC voltage, and the yellow ones are 110, and I'm guessing the blue and black ones are 220, because you got your switch here. You can switch between 110 and 220. So I think I did measure my 24 volts like I expected between the red pin and the black pin, so I did get 24 volts, which is what the power supply says it should have. And based on that, I know I got good voltage to the CPU card, so I'm going to go ahead and work on changing the CPU card out. So I labeled the pins, and I'm removing the pin headers now, and I used the old board, or the new board that I'm going to replace it with, so I knew what these labels were, because sometimes you couldn't see them. Okay, so here's the old board removed, and here's the new board. So you can see I've got these are the drivers for the X, Y, Z, and the extruder. So this one is X, Y, Z, and then the extruder. So these are just mounted. As you can see, they're just mounted in here, and hopefully these are all okay. These are just generic. I think you can buy these anywhere. I probably even have some extra ones if I need them, but those just pop out and pop into this other board. Alright, so here's the reinstalled board. The board is the same version and everything as the old one, so I was hoping it was a newer version of the board, but it's the same version, just a newer one. Okay, so I got this guy all plugged back in, and the bed is very hot. I set the bed up to heat, and it is very hot right now, so I'm going to try to do the same thing with the hot end, see if I can heat that up. Set it to about 200. That should be a good setting. Okay, so it's about to 200. I think I'll set it up to 205. Okay, now I'm going to see if I can get it to extrude some filament. You see that white filament under there? I can tell it's already extruding because that was not there. So it is heating up the filament, and that white filament is left over from the last person who used it. Alright, so I don't know how well you can see that, but when I hit in, it is actually feeding some filament through. So we know that it is heating the filament enough, and then you can see. Okay, so when I try to do a leveling effort on this, I'm getting an error. So I'll go back here a second and show you. So I can move in any direction. Maybe not. Okay, let me go back. So I got a flashing blue light on the BL Touch leveler. Probably see that there. And so maybe if I power this off and power it on again, I can show you what I'm seeing. Let's try that out. Okay, so if I go into Tools, I think it is. Okay, I can go to Move, and if I choose, you can hear it moving there. can move it all directions, including Z. But if I try to go to level it, I go to level, and if I try to level it, it will start to go and do something. But then I get this error. So I did a little bit of Googling, and it sounds like this can be caused by a loose connection. And since I was just in there and I reconnected every connector on there, but there's a good chance that one of them is still disconnected. So I'm going to go in and try to look at the connectors and see if I missed one, or if it just needs to be reseated. Alright, so guess which connector was not plugged in? The one that says Z probe on it. So I'm going to plug that in. We're going to try this again, if I can figure out where it goes. There it is. I think. Look at the motherboard real quick. Z probe. Yep. So I'm looking at this black connector right here is Z probe. So I missed one connector. It was kind of hidden behind the rest of them. So not only was it not seated, it wasn't connected at all. So I'm going to try this once more. I'm not going to put the bottom on. I'm going to just try it. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to put the bottom on. I'm going to roll the dice and think that this is done. Alright, so I got this all put back together. Let's see if we still get the error. So if I go to Tools, I go to Level, go to First, Alright, I think that's what it's supposed to do. So I'm going to finish getting this leveled up and see what happens. Alright, so I did the preliminary leveling by hand, and now it's doing an auto level function. So it hits about, I think, like 8 different points on the bed, and it does its own auto leveling calculations. So when I print something, it will use the G code that I give it, and it may make small adjustments so that it prints on the bed very accurately. Okay, if I can figure out how to do it here, I'm going to kick off the print job. Okay. Okay, usually it will deposit some filament on that edge right there, just kind of like loading itself up. So it will drag some filament along there. Okay, I don't know if you can see it or not, there's some black filament right here on the edge, right along here. I should have used a different color so we could see it a little bit better. Alright, so you can see here it's printing. You can see the shiny black filament there. So it's done about one layer at this point. It's done the base layer. So right now it's probably drawing the outline of the part to start the next layer. So I'm going to let this run for a while and see what it does. Alright, so here's the Sidewinder X2 printer. I finished printing 2 of these rails. I printed 3 because one of them didn't come out very well. I was printing beyond the edges of the bed a little bit, going corner to corner like that. So I think that made one of them not print very well. So I printed 3 of these all together, and they came out pretty good for a first job. I've done a lot of 3D printing in the past. You know, I'm not a newbie, so I've printed a lot, and I've learned a lot about printers over the years. So the elephant in the room is, how much did I pay for the new processing card? Well, it was $32 including shipping and taxes. So is it a $60 printer? No, it's not. It's a $93 printer. So is that a deal breaker? Is that a showstopper? I bought the printer to try out and learn and have a big format printer. I was okay losing $60 or $90 or whatever it happened to be, just to have something kind of cool to print on. You may have been wondering what I was printing on the printer, and it's actually a set of drawer slides that I found on Thingiverse. Someone else designed these, and I just printed them out to the size that I needed and used them as drawer slides in my garage. So these slides are to be used with an IKEA shelf. You can get them at IKEA. They have different sizes. An IKEA bin, I should say, not an IKEA shelf. And they just, in my case, I'm using them to be sliding into these rails. And I wanted this in my garage as a spot to store rags, so I would have a convenient place to put them and be able to get to them. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, share, and subscribe if you liked it.